Have you ever stared at your lab report and felt that tiny pinch of worry, wondering if that rising creatinine number means something serious? Or if you're just overthinking it, I ask, because millions of Americans feel that same quiet fear every single year, and most of them don't realize they're standing at the edge of a cliff they never saw coming. And that's the part that keeps me awake at night as a physician. Kidney decline doesn't scream, it whispers, and by the time the average person notices the swelling in their ankles, the exhaustion that never goes away, or that stubborn spike in blood pressure, nearly half of their kidney function may already be slipping through their fingers without a single moment of pain to warn them. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between catching kidney damage early and discovering it only after the danger has already taken root. Because while creatinine may look like just another number, once it begins to rise silently month after month, it can reveal a level of internal stress that your kidneys are no longer able to hide. But here's where the story shifts from fear to possibility, because you're not powerless, not even close. Nature has been quietly building its own defense system for you through the foods already sitting in your kitchen, foods that have proven in real science to lower creatinine, calm inflammation, and help your kidneys recover while you rest. And if you stay with me for the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the exact steps, stories, and healing habits that have transformed my patients' lives, one small, powerful choice at a time. Because the most dangerous thing about kidney decline is missing the moment you could have turned everything around. When it comes to quiet, natural kidney protection, walnuts are one of the most underestimated foods in America. Yet they hold a power that most people don't discover until they have reached a breaking point. Think of inflammation as a slow, silent fire that burns through your kidney filters day after day. You don't feel it, you don't hear it, but it's there. And walnuts, more than almost any other common food, act like a built-in fire extinguisher for that invisible crisis happening inside you. Packed with omega-3 fatty acids, especially ALA, they help calm the inflammatory cascade that slowly suffocates your nephrons. And what makes this even more remarkable is how simple it is. A handful a day, and you're giving your kidneys a chance to breathe again. I remember a patient named Raymond, a retired school teacher from Ohio. He walked into my office exhausted, discouraged, and quietly afraid. His creatinine had been inching higher for nearly a year. He told me, "Doc, I've done everything right. So why do I feel worse?" When we looked at his diet, something obvious stood out. He was avoiding salt, avoiding sugar, avoiding fat, but he wasn't feeding his body anything that fought inflammation. No omega-3s, no plant antioxidants, no healthy fats. It was like trying to fix a fire by removing the smoke instead of cooling the flames. So I gave him a strategy so simple he laughed 5 to 7 raw walnuts every evening, paired with hydration and colorful vegetables. 3 weeks later, he called sounding like a different person. "I wake up lighter," he said. "My ankles aren't as swollen. My head feels clearer." And he wasn't imagining it. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that ALA-rich foods can reduce markers of inflammation like CRP and improve endothelial function, two crucial indicators for long-term kidney protection. By the 3-month mark, his labs reflected exactly what he'd been feeling: lower inflammation, steadier blood pressure, and a small but meaningful improvement in GFR, proof that his kidneys were finally getting space to recover instead of fighting for survival every day. But walnuts offer more than anti-inflammatory strength. Their polyphenols like ellagic acid and melatonin neutralize oxidative stress, one of the biggest hidden drivers of kidney decline, especially in seniors and diabetics. It's not just about what walnuts give you, it's what they protect you from. Medication residue, blood sugar spikes, daily pollution, they all create oxidative waste. Walnuts act like tiny shields protecting your kidney cells from damage that builds up slowly but hits hard over time. And if you're listening right now and thinking, "I don't even like walnuts," let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that morning puffiness, that stubborn fatigue, or that heaviness in the lower back and thought it was just aging? It might not be. It might be the inflammation you can't see and the relief you haven't tried yet. But here's the thing, knowing what walnuts do is only the beginning, because there's another natural food, simple, sweet, and surprisingly powerful, that doesn't just cool inflammation, it sweeps toxins away before they even reach your kidneys. And that's where things get really interesting. If walnuts help cool the invisible fire inside your kidneys, then dried apples take things one step further by quietly sweeping away the waste products that fuel those flames in the first place. Most people don't realize this, but before toxins ever reach your kidneys, they travel through your gut. And that gut is either your first line of protection or your biggest source of overload. And this is where dried apples become one of the most underestimated healing tools in your kitchen. When you remove the water from an apple, you don't lose its power. You concentrate it. You're left with a chewy slice packed with pectin-soluble fiber and plant compounds that act like a natural detox sweep long before your kidneys ever have to face the burden. I remember a patient from Texas, Mrs. Linda Harper, a lively grandmother who loved baking but had recently been feeling weighed down by bloating headaches and that heavy feeling after meals that she dismissed as just getting older. Her labs showed rising creatinine and mild kidney stress, but what worried me most wasn't the number. It was how sluggish her digestion had become. When your gut slows down, toxins sit longer, leak back into the bloodstream, and force your kidneys into overtime. And that's exactly what was happening to her. So I suggested a tiny shift. Not supplements, not cleanses, just a handful of unsweetened dried apples every afternoon to replace the cookies she loved. Within 2 weeks, she called me with a spark in her voice I hadn't heard before. "Doctor," she said, "I don't feel foggy anymore. And I'm going to the bathroom like a teenager." It sounds funny, but it's scientifically predictable. Research published in the Journal of Functional Foods shows that apple pectin can bind toxins, heavy metals, and harmful metabolites in the gut, reducing the amount that ever reaches the kidneys. It's a pre-filter, something your body desperately needs when your kidneys are already under strain. By her next checkup, her bloating was gone, her skin looked brighter, and her creatinine had stabilized instead of rising. Her gut had started working for her kidneys, not against them. But here's what most people overlook. Dried apples don't just clean out toxins. They feed the good bacteria in your gut microbiome. And those bacteria directly influence inflammation, blood sugar balance, and the production of uremic toxins. That means a single handful of dried apples can spark a ripple effect: better digestion, fewer toxins, steadier blood sugar, calmer kidneys. And if you've ever felt that heavy after meals, feeling that mid-afternoon crash, or that unexplained swelling, there's a good chance your gut is asking for help in the only way it knows how. And while dried apples may seem simple sometimes, the simplest foods deliver the biggest impact, especially when your kidneys are tired of fighting alone. But only knowing this still isn't enough, because the real transformation happens when your blood vessels reopen, your circulation strengthens, and oxygen finally reaches your kidneys the way it's supposed to. And that leads us to the next surprising powerhouse. If dried apples help lighten the toxic load before it ever reaches your kidneys, then almonds step in at an entirely different level by improving the one thing your kidneys depend on every second of every day: strong, steady blood flow. Most people don't realize this, but your kidneys receive more blood per minute than your brain. They are filtration engines demanding constant oxygen and nutrient delivery. And when your circulation weakens, whether from age, diabetes, or cholesterol buildup, your kidneys are the first to suffer. That slow, tired feeling in your legs, cold hands and feet, dizziness when standing up. Those are not just circulation issues. They're early whispers that your kidneys aren't getting the fuel they need. This is exactly where almonds become a quiet lifesaver. I think back to a patient named George, a retired engineer from Florida. He came into my office rubbing his hands together saying, "Doc, they're always cold, even in the heat." He was exhausted, frustrated, and worried about his dropping GFR and the mild protein leakage starting to show up in his labs. When I reviewed his diet, there was something missing, not harmful foods, but helpful ones. He was eating carefully, but not nourishing his blood vessels. No magnesium, no vitamin E, no monounsaturated fats. His arteries were tightening like old rubber hoses, restricting the very blood his kidneys needed to stay alive. So I gave him a prescription he didn't expect: 8 to 10 raw almonds every morning, along with hydration and leafy greens. He laughed. "Almonds, that's it." But within 3 weeks, he wasn't laughing, he was glowing. "My feet aren't freezing anymore," he said, "and I have energy again." And his experience wasn't a coincidence. Studies in the Journal of Nutrition show that almonds improve endothelial function, the health of your blood vessel lining, while magnesium helps relax arteries, lower blood pressure, and prevent the calcification that silently destroys kidney circulation. Vitamin E offers antioxidant protection directly to the vessel walls, reducing the oxidative damage that stiffens arteries over time. By his 2-month checkup, George's blood pressure was steadier, his circulation indicators had improved, and his kidney markers had stopped declining. His complexion looked brighter, and his confidence was back. That's the power of turning your blood vessels into passageways instead of roadblocks. And if you're listening now and thinking you've been feeling colder, more tired, or slower lately, don't ignore it. Your body might be trying to tell you something long before the kidneys show it on paper. Because here's the truth, supporting circulation isn't just about warming your hands or boosting your energy. It's about giving your kidneys the oxygen-rich blood they need to filter, repair, and recover. And while almonds strengthen the highways your blood travels through, there's another food, tiny, sweet, and often underestimated, that strengthens the blood itself. And this next transformation is something you absolutely do not want to miss. If almonds help open the highways that carry oxygen-rich blood to your kidneys, then raisins take on a completely different mission, rebuilding the very lifeblood moving through those highways. Your kidneys cannot heal, filter, or regenerate without healthy red blood cells delivering steady oxygen. And yet so many Americans over 60 walk around unknowingly anemic, fatigued, pale, short of breath, or constantly cold, believing it's just age, when in reality their kidneys are starving for oxygen. Raisins, those tiny sun-dried grapes people often overlook, are one of nature's simplest tools for restoring energy, strengthening blood, and supporting kidney recovery from the inside out. I'll never forget a patient named Eleanor, a retired nurse from Michigan who had spent her entire life caring for others. But when she came into my office, she looked drained, her hands cold, her skin pale, her voice soft. She told me, "Doctor, I get tired just walking to the mailbox." Her labs showed mild anemia and early kidney stress, two problems that often go hand in hand. When your red blood cells are weak, your kidneys work harder. When your kidneys struggle, they produce less erythropoietin, the hormone that creates red blood cells. It becomes a vicious cycle. And what struck me most was how little nourishment her blood was getting. Her meals were bland, low in minerals, low in antioxidants, low in vitality. So I gave her an incredibly gentle but powerful prescription, a small handful of raisins soaked in warm water each morning. She raised an eyebrow. Raisins? Really? But within 3 weeks, she told me something remarkable. "Doctor, I can walk again without feeling like I'm out of breath." Her energy was brighter. Her skin had more color. Her dizziness had almost disappeared. And the science backs her experience completely. Raisins are loaded with iron, copper, and B vitamins, the exact nutrients your body needs to build hemoglobin and revitalize red blood cells. Studies published in the International Journal of Food Sciences show that soaked raisins increase mineral absorption and support healthier oxygen delivery throughout the body. And that improved oxygen isn't just for your energy, your kidneys depend on it. What I love most about raisins is their subtle power. Their natural antioxidants, like resveratrol and catechins, protect blood vessels and red blood cells from oxidative damage. Their potassium supports stable blood pressure. Their fiber helps reduce cholesterol. It's a ripple effect: stronger blood, better circulation, calmer kidneys. And if you've been feeling colder, weaker, or more winded lately, it might not be aging. It might be your blood whispering for help. But as powerful as raisins are, rebuilding blood is only one piece of the puzzle. Because your kidneys also rely on something else, something most people unintentionally damage every single day without realizing it. And what comes next might surprise you even more, because it's about protecting your muscles and your kidneys at the exact same time. If raisins help rebuild the oxygen-carrying power of your blood, then pistachios play an equally vital role by protecting something most people never think about: your muscle strength. And this matters more to your kidneys than you might imagine. When you lose muscle, your creatinine levels can rise in unpredictable ways. When you eat the wrong proteins, your kidneys are forced to work harder than they should. But when you nourish your body with the right kind of protein, clean, plant-based, gentle, you can support your muscles without overwhelming your kidneys. That's exactly where pistachios stand out, quietly offering one of the most kidney-friendly protein sources nature has ever created. I think of a patient named Harold, a retired truck driver from Arizona. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and strong most of his life, but when he sat down in my office, I could see the worry behind his eyes. "Doc," he said, "I'm losing strength, and my kidneys are slipping." His labs confirmed it: proteins spilling into his urine and a steady rise in inflammation markers. The problem wasn't that he lacked protein, it was that he was getting it from all the wrong places: processed meats, salty snacks, protein shakes loaded with additives. His kidneys were exhausted from filtering the acidic waste those foods created. His body was fighting, but it was fighting the wrong battle. So I gave him an unexpected assignment: swap a portion of his daily protein for a small handful of unsalted pistachios. He chuckled like many patients do. Pistachios, seriously? But 3 weeks later, his tune changed. "Doc, I don't feel bloated after eating anymore, and I'm not crashing in the afternoons." What he was feeling wasn't luck, it was biology. Pistachios deliver high-quality plant-based protein that digests smoothly, supporting muscle repair without forcing the kidneys to overfilter. They're rich in arginine, which boosts blood flow to muscle and kidney tissue, and loaded with vitamin B6, a key nutrient for metabolizing protein efficiently. Research from the Journal of Renal Nutrition shows that plant proteins can reduce kidney stress support, nitrogen balance, and stabilize creatinine far better than animal-based sources. By his next checkup, Harold's inflammation markers had dropped, his protein leakage had eased, and his energy had returned. He looked lighter, not just physically, but emotionally. His body finally had a protein source that supported him instead of draining him. And if you've ever felt swollen after meals, unusually tired after eating, or struggled with muscle loss as you age, pistachios might be the shift your body has been quietly asking for. But here's the deeper truth: protecting your muscles protects your kidneys, and feeding your kidneys the right proteins buys them the strength to keep filtering, repairing, and restoring day after day. Pistachios are powerful, but knowing this alone still isn't enough, because everything you've learned so far comes together in a way that can completely reshape your kidney recovery when applied correctly. And what happens next might just change the way you think about healing forever. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment and really hear this. Your kidneys are not broken, and you are not out of time. Every small choice you make, every handful of walnuts, every slice of dried apples, every almond, every raisin, every pistachio. These simple steps are signals to your body that you are fighting for yourself, that you are choosing healing instead of decline. Your kidneys respond to consistency, not perfection. And if you've listened this far, you've already taken the first step that so many people never take. You're paying attention before it's too late. I want you to be gentle with yourself on this path. Your energy may not shift overnight. Your creatinine might take weeks to improve. But what truly matters is that you're giving your body the tools it needs to repair, restore, and recover. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Start with one habit, one food, one daily choice. Healing begins in quiet ways long before the numbers on a lab report show it. If this video made you feel seen, understood, or empowered, do yourself a favor, save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I release new science-backed kidney health insights every week. And I don't want you to miss a single tool that could protect your future. Turn on notifications so you're always one step ahead of kidney decline, not one step behind it. Your story's not finished. Your kidneys are capable of more healing than you've been told. And no matter where your numbers are right now, there is always hope when you take the next small step. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and I'm here walking this path with you. Stay strong, stay consistent, and remember, your best days can still be ahead.